Again, like I was at the doctor was like, do you want to test for anything? And I was like, you know what, actually, why don't we just confirm what we already know?
So you had to advocate for yourself at a very young age.
I try and think about it as if I eat this way, I will feel better. That's truthfully it.
This is the complete opposite, where you need to avoid the iron supplements and avoid foods that are really high in iron.
I feel oftentimes they're like, oh, come on, you're making that up.
Welcome to another episode of the Dietitian's Table, where we have honest conversations around food and nutrition with guests just like you. I'm your host, Joy, a registered dietitian, and today I'm sitting down with Iliana. Let's dive into it.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Illiana.
Hello.
Thank you for being here.
Yes, of course. Happy to be here.
Tell me a little bit about yourself.
So I am a 20-year-old college student majoring in journalism, and pretty much throughout my life, I've, had to explain to doctors like what my medical condition is. And finally, there's, a little bit more awareness around it, but it'd be great to talk about and, get another person's opinion as well.
And what is your medical condition?
I have single gene beta thalassemia. So I don't have the full-blown thing, but I do carry the trait of it. And, that causes a lot of issues that has caused a lot of issues throughout my life and does cause a lot of issues. That's what that is.
So for our audience, I'm just going to explain what thalassemia is. It's a genetic blood disorder that affects our hemoglobin in our red blood cells, and the hemoglobin carries oxygen throughout the body. Mm-hmm. So when you have thalassemia, you have less hemoglobin. Your hemoglobin is low, and it's a type of anemia. So it causes fatigue and other things, since it affects all the body.
Yeah. So for me specifically, I was always an athlete growing up. I was in 3 sports or more, and they were all very high intensity cardio sports. And because of that, I now have chronic pain, in my back and in my joints, because my growing muscles were consistently deprived of enough oxygen because of that. And so now, as I'm older, which is so funny to be older, I'm 20, but as I'm getting older, is getting worse. It's quite funny to hear, everyone's opinion. Oh, you're so young. Why do you have back pain? And I'm like, guys, you don't get it. I swear.
We'll have to go back and explain everything.
I know. I'm like, all right, so here's my medical chart. Here's my history, literally. But yeah, so it has caused a plethora of issues in my, and it was funny, growing up, I was a fast kid. I was a very, very fast kid, but I would always hit a wall. And no matter what I did, no matter how I trained, I just couldn't get past that wall. And I was like, why? And, doctors, when I was born, speculated that I had it, but they never confirmed it, because they're like, you want to run the test? And amidst the chaos, it never got ran. And so it didn't get, the test for the spin for thalassemia didn't get ran until I was 16.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, it was speculated the entire time that I had it, and it made sense with what I was going through that I had it, but it never got tested. And then finally, when I was 16, they were like, okay, yeah, we'll run a spin for it. And it was true.
Well, what symptoms led you to finally get that tested?
Honestly, it was just curiosity. I knew 100% in my heart that it made so much sense. I have really bad anemia. I crave ice. I like the smell of dirt. I'll crave, a lot of things pregnant women crave. I get so fatigued so easily. I'm always tired no matter how much I sleep. I'm in pain a lot, truly. I mean, it's not crippling pain, but it's noticeable pain and not pain that somebody should have to deal with. Truthfully, it was just, I'm so tired all the time, and I'm way too young to be tired all the time at that level.
And that's when you got the testing.
Yeah. And again, I was at the doctor was like, do you want to test for anything? And I was like, you know what, actually, why don't we just confirm what we already know? It's that way I can 100% without a doubt say, this is what I have to medical professionals that I already had to explain to anyways.
So you had to advocate for yourself at a very young age to get this
Me or my mother, because my mom also has it, because mitochondrial. But doctors, they know what sickle cell is. I would just always explain it like it's the cousin to sickle cell. It's not my white blood cells. It's my red blood cells that are misshapen and whatnot, So Yeah.
And you had constant pain, or was it when you were working out and doing those sports?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like right now. I'm fine. I think I'm fine. I don't know. It's so funny to the threshold for pain. It's like maybe to me this is completely normal, but to someone else it's not. I feel fine. Like I have no immediate. But yeah, if I work out, I have to do it in a very very specific manner that works for me, so that I don't overexert myself, and then that leads to like a lot of joint pain or back pain and all that. Yeah.
So you learn how to listen to your body and know how to manage all those symptoms.
Absolutely. I mean, it was consistently brought up, like, oh, what is your diet? You know, what is your exercise habit? What is your sleep habits? Like, let's try and think of more natural ways, since there's no medicine or cure, if you want to call it, for thalassemia. So, it was like, okay, let's figure out a plan to do this so that I can be the healthiest version of me and, still be able to live like a happy, healthy life.
Yeah.
And whatnot. Yeah.
And when you got this diagnosis confirmed, which you knew all your life, but when you finally got the confirmation, what did you feel?
Truthfully, I was so sure of it in my own mind. And like I had already been telling doctors all my life, hey, I can't have iron. Like I can't take iron. That's going to make it worse. So, I know I'm anemic, but don't try and give me iron, please. So I had already been telling doctors as if I had the diagnosis. So to me, the confirmation didn't really do anything. I was just kind of like, okay, yeah, there you go. Like that
makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah, literally, there was really no change. I was already acting because my mom has it. It was very, very evident that I was going to have it or did have it. And because she had it, I don't think it's quite affected her in the same way that it affected me. And maybe that's because like I was so heavily invested in childhood sports, but she gets fatigued very easily and whatnot. So she kind of gave me like her tips and tricks.
What worked for her, what didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So.
And what did work for you? What adjustments did you have to make that you felt, oh, wow, now I feel better, or now I understand it more?
Truthfully, I'm very, very bad. This is a mental thing. I'm very, very bad at, if I'm not constantly doing something, then I don't have as much value as I could have. It's very, very bad. Working on that. But so I already do overexert myself quite a bit. I work and go to school full time, and I try to, still be healthy and exercise and do whatnot. So I do overexert myself, but within that overexertion, I try to do, like, if I'm working out, I will frame my reps in a way that is conducive with my body. So I'll do sets of 10 and I will rest for 5 minutes. I will like fully lay down and stretch out and rest for 5 minutes to try and, get my muscles to relax and have as much oxygenation, thank you, throughout my body. When I'm working, since I work on my feet all the time, I will, if I have a minute, I will go and I will sit down in a dark corner and I will take a break and I will breathe. Unfortunately, where I work, it's very hard to like have a meal, like a sit down lunch. When you work in a restaurant, you don't get to just have a sit down lunch. Yeah. So, my diet in the restaurant, it's because like you grab what you can, you know what I mean? It's not great. But I always try and like pair, if I'm eating fries, because that's what's available to me, I'll be like, okay, I need to have salad with a protein, you know what I mean? Because I know that that's what's going to make me feel better.
Okay.
Because I'm more heavily affected by diet than I feel like maybe a normal 20-year-old would be.
Yeah. So you're trying, even with the time constraints that you have, you try to still make sure that you're eating a balanced meal.
Yes, absolutely. Try to at least.
Try to.
Yeah.
I'm sure it doesn't always work.
No, customer service.
And how did your experience affect the way you think about food? Because you had to think about it more as a 20-year-old, as you said.
Yeah. I try and think about it as, if I eat this way, I will feel better. That's truthfully it. I mean, I think a lot of people feel that way. I was talking about it with my friends the other day, and she was like, wow, drinking water really does work. It's almost like what they told us all our lives is real. And I'm like, yeah, So I just know that for me, I'll be more fatigued than if a normal 20-year-old didn't eat healthily. Well, they'll have like a normal amount of fatigue. I'll feel it the extra mile. So I'm like, do I really want to do that with like how busy my schedule is? No. And I'm also already a person that I can't eat a lot of food in large quantities. I'm a grazer through and through. I have to eat in small quantities throughout.
Yeah.
So it's just mostly like listening to my body. If I'm hungry, if I'm not hungry, what it feels like. I was a vegetarian for 10 years on top of, already being like anemic and all that, which I actually I later found out is good for thalassemia. It's not good to have like red meat, truthfully. I mean,
because it has so much iron.
Exactly. Yeah. So, all my life, my dad, who bless his heart, he has no idea about anything. He didn't really know about thalassemia. Why would he? He was like, no, you need to eat this. You need to eat this. I'm like, this doesn't make me feel good. Like, no, this doesn't make me feel good. And so, like offsetting that and, just figuring out like what foods work for me.
Exactly. And again, with thalassemia, yes, it is a type of anemia, but it's the type of anemia where you don't want to add iron to your meals and add some iron supplements, where this is the complete opposite, where you need to avoid the iron supplements and avoid foods that are really high in iron.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
that's for our audience to know as well.
you could completely confirm could be wrong. Citrus, I heard, is good for it. Again, this could be incorrect, but I did always like crave citrus. And then I read like in a food article somewhere that it was like a thalassemia study that, citrus can help in some facet. And I was like, oh, that makes sense, because I will eat like a lemon, like just a full lemon.
I think it really depends, because citrus, the vitamin C in the citrus helps with your energy levels. And at the same time, if you have that within a meal that is high in iron, the vitamin C will enhance the iron absorption. So we don't want to enhance the iron absorption.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's not good for you.
So it's not good
like
if you're.
yeah.
I mean, it's good, but you don't want to have it with a high protein meal, because it'll enhance your iron absorption, and you do not need that to take that much iron in.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I know, it makes perfect sense. Okay, interesting. I was wrong.
Do you take any type of medications? Do you do any, or is it just the minor thalassemia? So there's
oh my God, I'm so tired. It's slipping my mind right now. There is a supplement you can take.
Is it folic acid?
Folic acid. Okay. Thank you so much. Yes. So I take folic acid.
Okay.
Not as consistently as I should, but I do take folic acid. Maybe it's because I don't take it super consistently. I haven't noticed anything, but I do it because heard that's good for you and, for thalassemia. Because it's so understudied, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll try it. Why not?
Well, there is more research now around thalassemia, the awareness, and on different types of medications to help manage all those symptoms.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I know we were talking a little off camera, but you were talking about like how in Lebanon it's more studied.
Yes.
That's really cool.
In Lebanon, it's very prevalent, thalassemia. And for a very long time, a very, very long time ago, there were no tests to test for thalassemia. And then a woman started looking into it, and she created a huge center for thalassemia. She worked with a lab and a team to test for thalassemia. So to raise awareness around it, and to have people tested before they have kids, or if they want to have kids, to know if they have the trait, and if they're gonna, if their kids can have the trait, to really catch it early and treat it early. So yeah, that was a big advancement.
Yeah. Thank God for women in STEM.
Yes.
It's interesting. I actually met someone for the first time, a man who had like the full blown thalassemia. And just to see, because it can cause like a lot of deformities, like his joints, they lock up entirely, so his feet don't properly work, and like you can see some facial deformities. And I was like, whoa, that's really interesting to like see the range of like how blood disorders, how they affect men differently than the trait carriers.
True.
Yeah.
And in those severe cases, they may need blood transfusions. They may need chelation medications to bind. This is medication that binds to the iron for it not to be absorbed by the body. So to be able to excrete and for you to clear the iron from your body, because there is no way to clear the iron. So vitamin C, for example, if you take a lot of vitamin C, your body just clears it out in urine. When you pee, it's gone. But the excess iron, there's no way, unless you're bleeding, but there's no way to really remove it from your body naturally.
Interesting.
So that's why it can build up, and that's why we need to be very mindful of that for someone who has thalassemia. Yeah,
Definitely. I know. I was always like, I did track and field a lot growing up for years, and you know, I'd be training, and my coach is like, "Come on, like you can put," and I'm like, "I can't. It's so weird." I'm like, "I literally cannot run anymore. Like I will pass out," and that's the thing. If I overexert myself when I'm working, I will hit the ground, pass out. Yeah. So I'm. It's funny. I don't pass out for, like, I have a driver's license. I don't pass out, you know, doing normal activities and whatnot. Like the DMV, if you're listening to this, I'm fine. But if I am in the gym and I am like working out too hard, my body will be like, okay, we're going to sit you down because we don't, up here, there's not enough oxygen. And it's funny. I'll feel like the lack of oxygen in my brain.
Wow.
It's a very weird sensation. Like I'll feel it rise like a heat. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yep, that's enough.
That's enough. But yeah, that would happen to me a lot as a kid. And it's just, what's going on? Like, you know, is it the heat? Is it what? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how was it to be diagnosed so young, and, you know, with your friends? Did it make it harder for you, or?
No. There's no ostracization. Like there's physically, you think I'm completely, there's absolutely nothing. I will say though, the only thing is like going to the gym with friends, or like when I was younger, like running with friends, and I would have to do it differently. You know, I'd have to stop and take more breaks. You know, like I'm a sprinter. I'm built like a distance runner because I'm not like stocky. I'm not a stocky. So my coaches were like, great, we're going to put you in the mile and a half, 2 mile. And I'm like, I can't do that. I literally can't do that. And so my friends, you know, when they'd go off on their mile runs or training for track or whatnot, I'm like, I can't keep up with you. Like I have to stop. Or going to the gym, especially going to the gym with men who were like, come on, like push yourself. I'm like, I can't. And I feel oftentimes they're like, oh, come on, you're making that up. Like, oh, come on, you're fine. You know, I'm like, I really can't.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I would say there's any sort of like discourse between my like friends or people I hang out with.
Or coaches, because they're like, I'm going to push you, and we're going to boost your willpower, and you're going to do this. And you're like, but I still can't.
And I'm like, trust me, I want to be able to do this. So it would piss me off to all ends when I was younger. I'm like, why can't I do this? Like, what is the reason? I'm not in not good shape. Like, what is it? And I would, when I was younger, I mean, like, I really didn't know what it was. I would be like, I have this, but like, I don't know what that means. And because it was just non-existently studied, you know, they didn't know either. So,
and has it been easier now that you're advocating for yourself and with your medical team?
I will say I don't have to explain it to doctors as frequently as I did when I was younger.
Good.
People are starting to be aware of what it is, you know, going into my poor mom, because she really had to go through the ringer. You know, like her doctors would like try and give her iron or like slip her iron into her medication. And she was like, if you do this, I will be sick. Please do not do this. And so, you know, more medical advancements and like not doing bad things to patients, you know, as time went on is more common now. But when I was younger, just consistently having to explain, like, this is what this is what I have. Please don't give me this. If you give me this, I will feel sick. Now I would say it's more like, oh, this is what I have. And doctor's like, oh, okay, cool. Okay. That makes sense why you, in your chart, you can't have iron. So it's like I said, I think it's a lot more research now, and there's not as much like need for advocacy.
True. And what advice would you give for someone who's dealing with thalassemia and is listening right now, going through it every day?
The tiredness and the pain that you feel, you're not crazy. That's genuinely it. I thought I was crazy a little bit growing up because I was like 12 and my back hurts. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's what you are feeling is normal for what you have. And just truly figure out what feels best for you and how you can manage your body and your pain. Figure out what diet works best for you, because food does obviously make a big difference what we eat. And yeah, that would be my 2 cents.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your experience with us today and with our audience.
Yeah, happy to.
Yeah, and thank you for sitting down with me and being so open, Iliana. And I feel our audience has learned a lot. That was very insightful. And I'm glad we can shed more light on this. For our audience, you can find the video for this and every episode on our YouTube channel. And don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. For even more conversations, follow along on Facebook and TikTok at The Dietitian Stable, or on Instagram at The Dietitian Stable Podcast. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you at the next episode.